Okay. So in the last class, we have started with the that is unit number 2. Okay, environmental engineering, water resources, and infrastructure. So which part we have studied in the last class? That is, WTP. Correct. So this one we have studied, that is water treatment plant. Okay. So initially, water is collected from the source. Correct. So from the source to where it will come? Yes, this is the source. Correct. So this is the source. So from the source to it will come to the screening. From the screening, coagulation will done. So where what is the function of the screening? Screening का function क्या है?
Removal of macroparticles.
Yes, good. Removal of macroparticles. What are the macroparticles? Give an example. Example.
Leaves.
Yes, it may be leaf or leaves, wooden pieces. Wooden pieces. It may be stones. Okay, stones. Okay, any macroparticles will be removed. Next is coagulation. What will be done in a coagulation? There is a coagulant is added. Okay, by adding the coagulant, the microparticles are removed. Okay, in the flocculation chamber, so it will be constantly agitated with the water. Constant stirring. Okay, slowly remove that is stirring of the water is flocculation, and from the flocculation it will come to the sedimentation. Here the flow rate, okay, discharge rate will be reduced. As the discharge rate is reduced, the particles, whatever the flocks are generated in the flocculation chamber, those will be settled at the bottom, and that will be removed. Some part of the sludge or the settled particles are removed from the sedimentation. From the sedimentation, it is taken to the filtration. Okay, here again the water is filtered. The whatever the suspended particles are there, that will be removed from the filtration. Again, the remove waste which is generated from the filtration, that is called as sludge. The waste which is generated at the sedimentation, that is also called as sludge. The waste which is generated at the screening, that is also called as sludge. Is it clear? Sludge means it is water content is very less, okay, and solid content is very high. And from the filtration, it will come to the disinfection. In the disinfection, the chlorine is added. So chlorine will act as a disinfectant. Okay, it will remove which type of bacteria it will remove? Pathogenic bacteria, non-pathogenic bacteria. It will remove. It will remove pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria. What are pathogenic bacteria? The bacteria which are harmful to the human being. Harmful. Okay. So those bacteria are removed from the disinfection. From the disinfection, it is taken to the storage tank. Okay. Overhead tank. It is taken to the overhead tank. From the overhead tank, it is supplied to the city. Distribution means it is city or population. People. Okay. Community. Okay. Community. It will taken. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next is, so this one is a flow chart we have seen. Okay. Screening, that is aeration, coagulation, so flocculation, clarification, sedimentation tank, filtration, disinfection, and storage tank to the, that is distribution. We have seen all these things. Correct. Okay. So after submitting water to the city, it will get generated, that is waste. The water is converted into waste. Correct. The water is converted into waste. So from the, you have seen, from the source to where it will come, water from the source it will come to WTP. What is WTP?
Water treatment plant.
Okay. So from the water treatment plant, where it will goes? It will goes to the community. Okay. Community means what? It is to the city, community, or it is to the public. Okay. Public. Okay. From the public. So from the public, water is get polluted. Correct. Water is get polluted, and it will become wastewater. Okay. So wastewater. It is become wastewater. Okay. Wastewater. Okay. So you should know how to treat this wastewater. How to treat that wastewater. That is nothing but STP. STP. This wastewater is also called as what? sewage. Wastewater is also called as sewage. Then what is this STP? STP is sewage treatment
Sewage
plant.
treatment plant.
Okay. So when the waste is coming from the city or public, it is called as wastewater or it is called as sewage water. Okay. If the waste is coming from the industry, okay, then it is called as effluent. Are you getting, all of you? If the waste is coming from the institution or any commercial building or any public building or from the public area, that is called as wastewater, we will call. Then that wastewater is treated with the help of STP. Now what we are doing, so whatever waste is generated from the industry, then that industry waste is called as effluent. Are you getting effluent? Whether industry waste is danger or sewage waste is danger?
Industry.
Because there are some of the highly chemicals are mixed here. Okay, very highly chemicals are mixed in the water, so this is very danger. Okay, danger in the sewage treatment. Just waste is from the human, okay, that is from the public, that is not any addition of, this is not a danger. Okay, this is mild in condition, this is severe in condition. So how to treat this waste is nothing but your ETP plant. So what is ETP? That is effluent treatment plant. ETP is, what is an ETP? ETP is a effluent treatment plant. Okay, so it is a process designed for treating the industrial wastewater for its reuse or safe disposal to the environment. Okay, so if you consider this is the industry, okay, so this is industry, the wastewater is coming from the industry, so this is very dangerous. I have to treat this waste in order to discharge into river. Okay, river को और लैंड को डिस्चार्ज करने के पहले वी हैव टू ट्रीट दिस वन, मींस द हार्मफुल components are removed, that is through the ETP. The process designed for treating the industrial wastewater for its reuse. We can reuse this wastewater. Okay, whatever waste is generated, wastewater, we can remove the harmful component, and again the water is recycled, reused, or safely disposed to the environment. So what is influent? Influent means what? Influent means untreated industrial wastewater. Okay, whatever waste is generated from the industry is called as influent. Then what is effluent? Treated industrial waste. So after coming to the from the industry, that waste is treated in the ETP. Okay, after treatment, the water is called as effluent water. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then the sludge, that is solid part separated from the wastewater by the ETP, is called as sludge. So, okay, this is sludge. What is this sludge? The solid particles which is separated from the wastewater from the ETP is called as sludge. Okay, in general, from the ETP, it may be from the ETP, from the sedimentation tank, so from the filtration tank. Okay, anything which is separated from the water is called as sludge. Is there any doubt? किसी को doubt है क्या? Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, so how this water is treated in the ETP? How to treat it? Okay, that we will study step by step. Okay, so how water is treated, we have studied, correct, step by step. Okay, in the same way, how this wastewater from the industry is treated in the ETP, we will study in detail. Okay, so first is need of ETP. Why this ETP is required? Okay, what is the purpose of this ETP? To clean industry effluent and recycle it for the further use. Okay, so whatever industry waste is generated, this is very danger. We have to reduce its dangerousness. So I have to clean the industry effluent and recycle it for the further use. So we can recycle it. So where to use it is, it is for the gardening purpose. I can use gardening purpose, garden, or we can use it as a some of the that is toilet. Okay, we can use the water for the toilets and all. Hmm. So again, to reduce the usage of fresh or potable water in industries. Yes, if you consider this is a industry. Okay, if you treat this water, so if you reuse this one, then amount of water which is required for this industry will reduce. Correct. If you use the same water, recycled water, then amount of water which is required for the industry will get reduced. Okay, reduce the usage of fresh or potable water in industry. Then next one is to cut the expenditure on the water procurement. Yes, initially if you want 10 mld of water, 10 mld means 10 million liters per day. Mld means million liters per day. Okay, when you use the recycled water, okay, this 10 mld will reduce into maybe 8 mld. Okay, 8 mld means you reducing 2 mld of water, that will cut the expenditure. Okay, so आपको इंडस्ट्री को वाटर चाहिए तो यू हैव टू प्रोक्योर करने का ना, यू हैव टू टेक द प्रोक्योरमेंट. सो by recycling, by using recycled water, you can reduce the expenditure. Next, to meet the standards for emission or discharge of environmental pollutants from the various industries set of governments to avoid the hefty penalty. Yes, if you consider this is the industry, okay, so this is the industry, so which is generating very high that is effluent. Okay, effluent. So we have to treat it. Okay, अभी treat किया तो क्या हो जाएगा, the dangerous material will become less harm. Okay, less harm. So this less harmed wastewater you can dispose into the water, okay, or a river or any land. So it will meet the standards which is given by the Environment Pollution Board. Okay, so whatever the waste is there in your industry waste, that should be having less standards. Okay, so if there is a some methane component or some of the any other chemicals, okay, that should be less than the standard units. Okay, next, to safeguard the environment against the pollution and contribute sustainable development. Okay, so this less treated water supply kiya to you can save the environment. Okay, if you do not treat the water, I say directly, if you discharge into the river, then क्या होता था, आपका river pollute हो जाता था. Is it clear everyone? Okay, this is the purpose of ETP. Is it clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then, so how to design the ATP? So in the design step, the design of and size of the ATP depends upon quantity and quality of industry discharge. Okay, quantity means how much. Quantity means how much it is. How much. Okay, and quality means how much quantity. How much quantity. So quantity is depends on discharge. Okay, discharge का यूनिट क्या है? Discharge की यूनिट Q is equal to वॉल्यूम बाय टाइम, दैट इज मीटर क्यूब पर सेकेंड. ओके, एक सेकेंड को कितना मीटर क्यूब डिस्चार्ज हो रहे हैं. ओके, दैट इज द क्वांटिटी. देन क्वालिटी, सो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट particles. Okay, what is their quality and all, so that will depends on the this ETP size depends on your quantity and quality of industry waste, and also land availability. Okay, for the if you are having one sugar factory, okay, sugar factory, how much land is available? Okay, how much land is available? If you are having large land, then you can go for the larger construction. If you are having small, very small, then you can compact your construction. And monetary considerations for the construction, operation and maintenance means all you can take in the monetary ways. Then area dimension depends on, okay, quality of wastewater to be treated, flow rate, typical biological treatment to be used. Okay, there are different components of the biological treatment that typical one you should use. What are those? We will study further. In case of less available land, see, if land availability is very less, then CETP, that is common effluent treatment plant, is preferred over the ETP. Okay, if the land is very less, then CETP is used, that is common effluent treatment plant is used. Okay, so there are treatment levels of mechanism of ETP. So there are different levels. Okay, so that is important. So this is important. First one is preliminary treatment. Then second one is primary treatment. Third one is secondary treatment. Then fourth one is tertiary treatment. Okay, so in the ETP, what are the steps? Okay, in the multiple choice questions, following are the, which one is the not the step in the ETP? Primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary. Which one is not a step in ETP? There is primary, there is
Quaternary.
yes, primary, preliminary, primary, secondary, tertiary. There is no quaternary. Okay, quaternary is not there. Okay, only there are four steps: preliminary, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, these are the four steps which are used in ETP. Okay, treatment mechanism. What mechanism it is using? It is using physical mechanism. It is using chemical mechanism. It is using biological mechanism. Okay, so one by one we will study what is preliminary, what are the components will come under preliminary, primary, secondary, and tertiary. We will study one by one. So first one, preliminary treatment. So preliminary treatment level. So why we should do preliminary first? What is the purpose of the preliminary treatment? So in the preliminary treatment, the physical separation of a big sized impurities like cloth, plastics, wooden pegs, paper, okay, stone particles, etc. Okay, all the, so which kind of particles are these? Whether these are micro particles or macro particles?
Macro
Macro
particles.
Macro
particles.
particles.
So the purpose of a preliminary treatment is to remove the which kind of particles? Macro particles. Okay, macro particles. That is, it may be cloth, it may be plastic, wooden piece, leaf, okay, stone pieces, all those are removed. Then common physical units at the preliminary levels are, so first one is screening. So what will remove screening? The screen with openings of uniform size is used to remove large solid such as plastic, cloth, generally, etc. Generally, maximum 10 mm is used. Okay, 10 mm bar. Okay, this is 10 mm bar. In the screens, this is a screening. Okay, like this, it is screening. The diameter of the bar is 10 mm bar is used in the screening. Then in the sedimentation, physical water treatment process using gravity to remove the suspended particles. Okay, so like this is the sedimentation tank. Initially, you are from the screening, you will remove the macro particles. Okay, there will be some micro particles, all right, okay, or suspended particles. When you bring that water, wastewater in the sedimentation tank, they, all the suspended particles, all the smaller particles will get settled in the bottom. So this is called as what? What is this is called as? Yes, what is this called as? Whatever particles which are settled at the bottom, what it is called as? It is the sludge. What it is? Sludge. Okay, what is sludge? All the waste particles which are settled at the bottom of the sedimentation tank is called as sludge. Okay, so physical water treatment process using gravity to remove the suspended solids from the water. Then one more is clarification used for separation of solids from the fluids. Okay, again, if there is any small particles are there, okay, colloidal particles and all, so that will be removed from the fluids. So there will be one flow chart. I will show that one also. So you have seen preliminary. Preliminary में क्या क्या remove करते हैं? Microparticles and macroparticles. Okay. When you are coming for the primary treatment. So primary treatment में. So what is the purpose of primary treatment? To removal of floating and settleable materials. The material which is floating, that will be removed, such as suspended solids and organic matter. That is important. Organic matter is important. Okay. So the methods are both physical method, chemical methods are used in the treatment. Which type of treatment? It is primary treatment. Next. So here, what are the steps in the chemical unit process? So chemical unit process are always used with the physical operations and also be used with the biological treatment processes. So this chemical process is used in the physical processes and also biological processes. Okay. So chemical processes use the addition of chemicals to the wastewater brings about the changes in the its quality. Okay. So if the pH, if you consider pH, if the pH is very high, then that is a danger. Okay. I have to reduce this pH by adding chemicals. So, okay, chemical process ho gaya. Okay. So if the DO, dissolved oxygen, is very less, then that is dangerous to the aquatic animals. Okay. So we have to increase the DO content, that is dissolved oxygen content. So that is chemical process. Okay, example, pH control, coagulation, chemical precipitation, and oxidation. All these will come under chemical unit. Then pH control. How to control the pH? Okay, so to adjust the pH, pH in the treatment process to make the wastewater pH neutral. So what is neutral? What is the range of the pH? Range of the pH
7.
neutral is 7. Range
7. 1 to 14.
1 to 14 or 0 to 14? It is 0 to 14.
0 to 14.
0 to 14. If the pH is less than 7, then it is called as less than, pH is less than
Acidic.
7. Huh? Acid. Okay, acid. pH is less than, it is acid. If the pH is more than 7, then it is called as what it is?
Base.
Basic.
If the pH is equal to 7,
Neutral.
then it is neutral. Okay, neutral. So see here, to adjust the pH, the treatment process to make the wastewater neutral. So whatever your waste is there, if it is having very high or very low pH, then that is very danger to the aquatic animals. So we have to make it as a neutral. Okay, for the acidic pH, waste is acidic, and acid means low pH. Acid low pH. So we have to add, what we have to add? We have to add base. Correct. If the wastewater is, it is in acidic condition, then I have to make it as a neutral. What I have to add? I have to add base or acid?
Base.
Base.
Okay, base. It means this sodium hydroxide is base. So, okay, sodium Na2CO3. Okay, calcium carbonate, sodium carbonate, sodium hydroxide. All these are base that should be added. If your waste is alkali waste, alkali means if it is in base condition, high pH, more than it is 7, then what you have to add? You have to add acids. H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, and also hydrochloric acid you have to add. Is it clear?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
In the multiple choice question, so question is like this. So waste, that is solid waste you can take. So waste is having pH 4. Okay. So which following is added? Which coagulant is added? So option A, NaOH. Option B, H2SO4. Option C, HCl. Option D, all. Yes. Can you tell me answer?
NaOH.
NaOH, because the pH of the waste is 4. 4 means whether the waste is it in acidic condition or basic condition. Waste is it in
Acidic.
acidic or basic? It is
Acidic.
in
Acidic.
If it is acidic, what I have to add? I have to add base. What is base? Here it is NaOH is base. Are you getting?
Yes.
Okay. Next one is so chemical coagulation and procurement. So how will be the chemical and flocculation? So just see here. Coagulation refers to the collecting minute solid particles dispersed in a liquid into a larger mass. So you have seen in the water treatment plant, we have to add coagulant. Coagulant add किया तो क्या होता है? So if there is smaller particles are there in the wastewater, so this all the coagulant will what it will do? It will attack to the this smaller particles. So hence the size of the particle will get increased. Okay, I say size increase हुआ तो the mass of the particle will increase. As the mass of the particle increases, okay, it will become heavy. So if it is heavy, then it will get settled at the bottom. Okay, that is coagulation. See, chemical coagulants like Al2SO4 thrice. So that is called as alum. Alum is Al2SO4 thrice, or ferric sulfate, Fe2SO4 thrice, are added to the wastewater to improve the attraction among the fine particles, so that they come together and make larger particles called flocks. Okay, so if this is a tank, there is a smaller particles. Okay, so when you add the coagulants होने के बाद क्या होता? So that will become larger particles. Okay, so after adding coagulant, you have to do gentle rotation. Okay, so gentle stirring किया तो क्या होता? One particle and another particle will come in contact. Okay, they will become larger particles. Okay, another particle will come and attract each other. Okay, I say attract होने के बाद what it will become? What is this is called as? This is called as flock. Okay, from the flocculator it will become flock. So it will become larger mass. Okay, that will be removed. That will be get settled together to form a larger particles called as flocks. In the chemical flocculator, usually polyelectrolyte is used in the chemical electron to enhance the flocculation by processing it, bringing together particles to form the larger particles. So in the chemical flocculant, polyelectrolyte is used, okay, to make the flocculant. One is chemical coagulant. So which chemical coagulant is used? Alum, or that is Fe2 ferric sulfate. In the chemical flocculant, which method is used? Polyelectrolyte is used. Okay, so which settle out more quickly. So chemical flocculant is more faster than the chemical flocculant. That is polyelectrolyte is more chemical flocculant is more faster than the chemical coagulant. Flocculation means what? Flocculation means it is a gentle mixing which causes the particles to collide each other. So whatever particle it is there, we have to gently mix it is, so that one particle will mix with other particle, it will become collide and it will become a big particle. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So next one is treatment or level. So what all we have seen in the preliminary treatment, we have removed macro particles. In the primary treatment, we have removed suspended particles. Okay. So in the suspended one, so that is chemical one. Again in the secondary treatment, we have to remove biological. Okay, biological removal. So biological and chemical processes are involved in the yeast level. So here biological level is taken. See, biological units. What is biological units? To remove, so first of all you should know which type of material is removed in the secondary treatment. So to remove or to reduce concentration of organic and inorganic compounds. Okay, so in the preliminary, which type of material we have removed? all the macro particles we have removed. Okay, from the primary treatment plant. Okay, so primary, so which type of material we have removed? All the suspended particles we have removed. Okay, that is microparticle. From the tertiary, secondary units. So which type of material we are removing? We are removing biological, that is organic and inorganic compounds we are removing. So biological treatment process can take many forms, but all are based around the microorganisms, mainly bacteria. Okay, so this secondary treatment is nothing but that is mainly with respect to microorganisms. So here two process in the biological unit process. One is aerobic, another one is anaerobic. Aerobic means the aerobes are there. Aerobic bacteria are present. In the anaerobic, there is anaerobic, aerobic bacteria are not present. Or you can also call it, if the reaction is taken with the help of oxygen, then that is called as aerobic. If the reaction is taken with without the help of oxygen, then that is called as anaerobic. See, aerobic treatment process takes place presence of oxygen or presence of air. So that's why it is called as aerobic process. Aerobic takes place. Aerobic treatment process takes place in the presence of oxygen. So which material is converted into which material in the aerobic particles? It utilizes microorganisms called aerobes, which uses molecular free oxygen to the assimilate organic impurities, converts them into carbon dioxide. Yes, all the impurities, organic matter, I will take OM. This organic matter is converted into carbon dioxide and biomasses, sludge, biomass. So who will convert this one organic matter into the carbon dioxide? That is aerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria in the presence of oxygen. So the bacteria will convert organic matter into your carbon dioxide or biomass, that is in the presence of oxygen. Then that process is called as aerobic process. If the same anaerobic treatment में क्या हो जाएगा? It takes place in the absence of oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, it utilizes microorganisms. Means it takes place in the presence of microorganisms. Which type of microorganisms? Those are anaerobes, anaerobic bacteria, which do not require air. उसको air नहीं चाहिए. So to assimilate organic impurities. So again, this organic matter is converted into, so the final product of are methane and biomass. So here it is methane, methane or biomass. So biomass. Okay. So which this is absence of oxygen, absence of oxygen. Clear? Biological treatment will take place in two methods. One is aerobic method and one more is anaerobic method. In the aerobic method, the treatment will take place without the oxygen. In the aerobic, the treatment will takes place in the presence of oxygen. In the anaerobic, the treatment will take place in the absence of oxygen. So is it clear, everyone? Yes. Yes, sir. Now tell me. So organic matter will convert in the aerobic process. So it will convert into which material? Huh? Yes, roll number 10, 15. Can you tell me? In the aerobic process, organic matter is converted into which type of end product?
Carbon dioxide.
It is carbon dioxide and biomass. Okay. So in the anaerobic process, organic matter is converted into
Methane
into
and
yes,
biomass.
methane and biogas. Okay. Methane and biogas. So in the aerobic process, which type of bacteria are present? Which type of bacteria are present? Aerobic bacteria. Okay, here aerobic bacteria. In the anaerobic process, which type of bacteria is present?
Anaerobic bacteria.
Anaerobic bacteria. This aerobic process takes place In the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen?
Presence of oxygen.
In the presence of oxygen. Yes, I am hearing only few students, only 4-5 students. Others, you have to give the reply. Avinash, 53, are you present?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So activated sludge process. This activated sludge process I will explain in the flow chart. Okay. Once again, I will explain this one. See, in the tertiary. So you have seen. Avinash, tell me what are the different processes you have seen for the ETP? Preliminary you have seen. Next. What is the second step? Primary system, preliminary system, primary system, primary treatment. Next one is secondary treatment you have seen. So last one is that is tertiary system. Okay. So this method is also called as it is advanced treatment. So what is the purpose? Why we have to remove? See the final. So we have removed which type of material we have removed? Micro. So from the waste, industry waste, micro particles, macro particles we have removed. Microparticles we have removed, that is suspended particles. Again we have removed what we have removed? We have removed biological matter, organic matter also we have removed. Then what is there in the wastewater? The final cleaning process that improves the wastewater quality. Okay, now whatever the quality of wastewater is there, it may not be the up to the required one. Okay, it may not be, pH may not be the correct. Okay, its DO may not be the correct, its concentration may not be the correct. We have to correct the concentration. That is done here. Improves the wastewater quality before it is reused. Okay, final cleaning process that improves the wastewater quality before it is reused, recycled, or discharged to the environment. Before discharging into the environment, we are reusing, we have to improve its wastewater quality. Okay, so there are mechanisms. It removes remaining inorganic compounds. Okay, so some amount of organic and inorganic is removed. If there is excess inorganic compounds, that will be removed. And substances like, what are the substances? Nitrogen, phosphorus. Okay, so these kinds of materials will be removed from the tertiary. Okay, next, bacteria, viruses, and parasites which are harmful to the human life. Okay, that are also removed at this stage. Okay, so at the tertiary state, the inorganic excess remaining inorganic compounds are removed. What are the inorganic? Nitrogen, phosphorus, and bacteria, viruses, parasites which are harmful to the public health. Okay, that is also removed. Okay, methods how to remove this one. First one is by adding alum. Okay, so from the secondary treatment होने के बाद जो वाटर वेस्ट वाटर आ रहे हैं ना उसको अलम ऐड करने का. So what will happen by adding the alum? It will remove additional phosphorus particles. Okay, whatever phosphorus particles are present in the wastewater, that will remove from the alum, and group of remaining solids for easily removal of in the filters. Okay, if there is any other solid particles are present, if at all, that will be removed from the alum. Then again there is with the chlorine. Okay, if there are disinfection, okay, if there is a bacteria which are going to harm to the human being, then those bacteria are removed with chlorine. Okay, chlorine tank disinfects the tertiary treated wastewater, removing the microorganism in the treated waste, including bacteria, viruses, parasites. Okay, all those bacteria, viruses, and parasites are removed from the chlorine. Okay, remaining chlorine, if at all this chlorine is excess, okay, if when you are adding the chlorine to the wastewater, so if the added chlorine is excess, okay, then that remaining excess chlorine is removed by adding sodium bisulfate just before it's discharging. Okay, so before discharging this wastewater, if there is excess chlorine, then that will be removed from the sodium bisulfate. Is it clear, everyone? So what is tertiary treatment? It is removing wastewater. It will improve the wastewater quality. Improves the wastewater quality. So what are the methods? By adding alum. So alum add किया तो क्या हो जाता? Which particle you will remove? It will help to remove the phosphorus particles and also remaining solids together, easy removal of filters. Then chlorine. Why it is added chlorine?
Disinfectant.
Disinfectant. It will act as a disinfectant. Okay, disinfectant means what it will remove? It will remove microorganisms in the treated wastewater. What are the microorganisms? Yes, tell me.
Bacteria,
Viruses and
viruses,
Bacteria.
parasites.
So viruses, bacteria, parasites. Okay, those will be removed. Chlorine. Okay, if the chlorine added chlorine is more, okay, ज़्यादा हो गया. So how that will be controlled? By adding
Sodium
sodium bisulfate.
bisulfate.
Okay, so this is how will be treated in a tertiary treatment. Okay. Okay, so till now you have seen all the explanation. So preliminary, primary, secondary, and tertiary. So that entire will taken into the flow chart. So initially, water is taken from the industry to the preliminary treatment, wastewater influent, preliminary. So preliminary to it will come to the primary clarifier, that is primary treatment plant. So in this primary, which type of material will remove? Microparticles. So that is nothing but primary sludge. That will become primary sludge. Okay, again the wastewater is transferred into the tank, aeration tank. Okay, again there will be secondary clarifier and all. So this entire it will become this is secondary. Okay, secondary may treatment may again there is a waste is generated. Okay, that is called waste is taken out. Okay, again some amount of waste is transferred to the aeration tank. Okay, so that is process is continued. Again from the secondary clarifier it will taken into the disinfection. Okay, so after disinfection the effluent is coming, final effluent. So here we can recycle the waste, recycle or reuse, or you can open into land or any water body. Okay, discharge. Okay, you can take it as discharge. Okay, you can recycle the water, you can reuse the water, you can discharge the water into any water body. So this one again there is one more flowchart you can clearly see here. So first one, see all the processes what I have discussed. So all the processes will come here. Check it. So first one, general flow diagram. So what is this one? This is screening. Okay, wastewater is taken into screening first. Okay, so which type of material is removed here? Which type of material is removed?
Macroparticles.
Yeah, all the macro particles are removed. So from the macro particles, again there is a one more chamber, that is grit chamber. So what it will do, grit chamber, all the grit particles are removed. Okay, all the grit particles will remove. What are the grit particles? There may be stone particles or sand particles. Okay, heavy metals and all those will remove here. Then there is a skimming tank. Okay, skimming tank. So skimming tank will remove oil and grease. Skimming tank will remove oil and grease. So from the screening, macro particles, okay, plastic, wooden pieces will remove. Okay, from the grit chamber, all the grit particles will remove. From the skimming tank, oil and grease will remove. Okay, so at this level, the wastewater is having abrupt temperature. Okay, the abrupt temperature, that is very high temperature, that is cooled down in the equalization tank. So this equalization tank will reduce the temperature of the wastewater. From the new equalization tank, it will taken into the neutralization tank. So here, if your waste is in acidic condition, that will make into neutral, okay, by adding base. If the waste is basic in condition, so that will make into as neutral by adding acids. Okay, so neutral ho jane ka idhar, neutral. Next, after neutralization tank, it will taken into a clariflocculator. It will taken into a clariflocculator. That is, coagulation will done. Again, there is a flocculation will done. From the clarifloculation, again taken into the primary settling tank. Primary settling tank. So it will, in the primary settling tank, some amount of sludge will generate. Okay, so that sludge is taken here. Okay, sludge is taken here. Again, the wastewater is taken into the biological treatment. So here it is, macroparticles are removed. In the primary settling tank, all the microparticles will removed. Okay, all the microparticles are removed. Okay, in the primary. In the secondary, so here it is, biological treatment will carry out. So after biological treatment, the water is taken into the secondary settling tank. Secondary settling tank. Again, this is the secondary settling tank. The waste will generate. Okay, that is also taken here. Again, from the biological treatment, there is a waste is generated. That is also taken here. All the sludge will taken. That is sludge drying beds. After this secondary settling tank, the water is taken into the tertiary treatment. Okay, so all the tertiary, that is your disinfectant will remove. Okay, that is microorganisms will remove in the tertiary. So after this one, that is what we will do, that is my so after tertiary treatment, where it is removed, it is taken into the discharge. Okay, so discharge is done. Okay, recycle or reuse or discharge is done. So this is the flow diagram for the sewage treatment plant or effluent treatment plant. Is this flow diagram, is it clear everyone? सभी को clear हो गया? Yes, I am asking to you.
Yes,
Yes, किसी को डाउट है क्या इसमें, ये डायग्राम में? किसी को डाउट है तो पूछ सकते हैं. रोल नंबर 3, 5, 4 क्या ऑल?
No, sir.
8, 10, 7 किसको डाउट है?
No, sir.
प्रथमेश, धीरज, समर्थ, प्रणीता, ऋतुजा?
No, sir.
Alfia,
No,
is it
sir.
clear? Okay.
No,
Now I
sir.
will ask anyone, can you explain this one, this flow diagram? Can you explain one by one from the screening to enter? Yes, anyone take a leading. Okay. Anyone who is interested can explain this diagram. Yes, I have given you an opportunity. You have to take this opportunity, utilize this opportunity. Yes, no one is interested to explain this one, और मैंने और एक बार explain करने का? Yes, yes, give me any responses. मैंने explain करना है क्या, और you will explain? I am not getting any responses. So what is this first one? Yes, I will ask one. What is this one? Can you tell me?
Screening.
Screening.
Yes. Now you, at least you should give responses. Okay, whatever I am asking. Screening. Which type of material will remove?
Macroparticle.
Macroparticles. All of you have to actively participate. Okay. आपको भी ध्यान रहते वापस. So you have to go through these slides. Macroparticles will remove. Then what are the macroparticles? What are macroparticles? That may be
wooden pieces.
plastics, wooden
Plastic.
piece, okay, wooden pieces and all. Then after screening, so where it will come next? It will come to grit
And-
chamber. So
All grit.
all the grit particles will remove. Okay, grit particles. What are grit particles? Grit particles मतलब कौन सा है? Yes, grit particles. What are the grit particles? That may be sand, heavier particles. Okay, heavier particles will remove. Okay, after grit particles, where it will taken? Third one is
Oil and grease trap.
third one is
Trap.
skimming tank. So which tank it is? It is skimming tank. Skimming tank. Okay. So what is this skimming tank? It will what it will remove? What it will remove? Oil and grease. Okay. This skimming tank will remove oil and grease. So from the skimming tank, where it will taken? It will taken into
equalization tank.
tank.
equalization tank. So what it will do? Equalization में क्या करते हैं? Temperature high करते क्या reduce करते? It will reduce the temperature. Okay. So from this equalization tank, where it is taken?
Neutralization tank.
Neutralization. So in this neutralization, what it will do? If the waste water is acidic in condition, so it will make into neutral करने का. Correct. If the waste is basic, it will made into neutral. So how to make it is neutral? Which type of material is added in first case? It is base is added. Because it is acidic in condition, so base is added. Here it is basic in condition. Which type of material is added here? Acid will add in the neutralization tank. Correct? Next, after neutralization tank, where it is taken? It will taken into a coagulation and flocculation tank. Next, after coagulation means you will add the coagulants. Okay, you will do a constant slowly mixing of wastewater. So what will form here? Flocks will form. After forming flocks, okay, that will taken into the primary settling tank. Okay, that is taken into the primary settling tank. Okay, the primary settling tank. So from the primary settling tank, whatever waste is there, that is taken into the sludge. Again, water is transferred to the biological treatment. So here in the primary settling tank, all the microparticles are removed. Okay, so biological treatment. So in this biological treatment, all the which type of material is removed? Organic material is removed. Okay, so that is organic material is removed. Here it is organic matter. Organic matter is removed. Here in the primary, it is microparticles are removed. So in the screening, macroparticle. In the grit chamber, grit particles. In the skimming tank, oil and grease. Okay. In the primary settling tank, microparticles are removed. In the biological treatment tank, that is organic matter is removed. Okay. Means after treatment, the water is taken into the secondary tank. Okay. Again, here it is all the organic matter. Okay. That is methane. Okay. Whatever it is formed, no, using aerobic and anaerobic process, all this is removed. After this one, treatment, tertiary treatment is taken. Which type material is removed? Nitrogen, NO2 if it is there, NO2, okay, if it is there. Again, if there is a again there is a what are material will add? Alum will add. Again, there is a chlorine will add. So if there is excess chlorine, that will be added, removed by the sodium bisulfate. After this one, there is a discharge. Okay, discharge is done. This is how you have to explain all. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you understood this flow chart, then remaining is very easy. Okay, all screen chamber, what it will do, collection tank, what it will do, equalization tank, what it will do. See, equalization tank. So effluent do not have similar concentration at all the times. Its pH will be varying time to time. Effluents are stored 8 to 10 hours in the equalization tank, resulting in a homogeneous mixture. Okay, so whatever waste is coming, that will become equalization. Okay, equalization. It eliminates shock loading. Okay, so effluent is always coming. Okay, that is reduced. Shock loading. Continuous mixing also eliminates the setting of solids and equalization tank. So just go through the all this whatever I have explained in the flow chart. Okay, so again there is a flash mixer. Lime is added, alum or polyelectrolyte, clarificator. Okay, aeration tank. So clarifier. So all these are operation in the ETP. So sludge. So what is this sludge thickener? We will study in the next class. Okay, about the sludge, what it is containing, how, what are the sludge drying beds, and we will see those points. Okay, so remaining point we will study in the next class. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See the screening tank. See the screening. Waste is coming. So all the, which type of material is removed? All the papers, plastics, all the macro particles are removed. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible now? So all the
Yes, sir.
waste macro particles are removed. See, this is equalization time. Okay. See, again from the disinfect. See wastewater, how it is moving and how it is taken into the aeration tank. How all the microparticles and biological particles will be removed from the biological treatment. We will see in the next class. Okay. So just I will take the attendance. One, two, three, four. Roll number 4. Roll number 4 absent. 4, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Roll number 19. 37, 39, 40, 43, 46, 47, 48, 46, 47, 48, 50, 51, 52, 53, 53, 54, 56, 57, 57, 58, 57, 58, 61, 62, 62. Okay. So many students are absent. I will continue in the next class. Thank you all.